Horror fans love a good slasher movie, don't they? The full trailer for Heart Eyes came out yesterday, and I watched it a couple of times so that I could do a trailer breakdown. I paused it at certain scenes, so there may be spoilers in this video, guys. Now, this is just my opinion and what I think might happen in this film based on the trailer itself. All of it could be wrong, some of it could be right, but if you don't like spoilers at all and you want to go into this movie completely blind, then I recommend not watching this video. But if you're like me and other horror fans who are intrigued by what could happen and who could be the killer, then I would suggest continue watching because the trailer itself might reveal there's more than one killer. We start off in a coffee house where the main couple meet up, and it looks like they're both going for the same latte or coffee or whatever it is with a love heart on it. And it seems like it's just destiny. They're destined to meet up. Or could it be that the barista who's given them the coffee has intentionally done that so that they both meet up and they don't realise it? Maybe the barista is the killer. This more than likely has nothing to do with the plot, but I found this quite funny where you see he's wearing a cream jacket and she's wearing this kind of greyish tartan jacket. Keep that in mind when we go further on into this video. Somebody approves. So we go later on into the night or into a different night when you see the couple meeting up. They've obviously liked each other from the barista meet. And when I said, look at the jackets that they were wearing and at the barista, he was wearing a cream jacket and she was wearing this kind of grey tartan jacket. It seems like they've switched jackets now, not literally because they're both wearing their own jackets, but he's now wearing the grey tartan jacket and she's wearing the cream jacket. Is there a reason behind that? Probably not. Now, this scene here when they're both in her bedroom, I assume they first come across this Heart Eyes killer. Now, this isn't the first time that they're going to come across this killer, and this begs the question, why them or why always them? Is it that they always get away, or is he intentionally letting them get away? This scene here when the Heart Eyes killer stands on her torch or her flashlight, if you're American, it looks like it's going to be the same scene, possibly from this one because she's wearing the same clothes. So it's probably the same night in the same house. This is quite important because it looks like this is where the Heart Eyes killer does his or her bidding because we see this surrounding throughout this trailer. I believe this girl is probably going to be the first victim at the beginning of the movie. Love the cinematography in this scene. I just feel like we see her later on in the trailer and I think she's the first victim. We get a quick glimpse of what the media call the Heart Eyes killer. They call him Heck, which stands for Heart Eyes Killer. We see on the news it says killer strikes at local spa, so obviously there's a spa involved because it is Valentine's Day. It says Tuesday, February the 14th. And it also says next to that, there's a report that the Heart Eyes killer uses augmented homemade weaponry. So I don't mean augmented reality, and I don't know if they mean augmented reality, but he's obviously got some type of cool tech, I would say. We see him pressing the button later on in the trailer as well, and it makes us believe that the button is for the carnival, the merry-go-round where the horses are, but that might not be the case. This might be for one of his traps that he set for possibly the first victim. This is the trap that I'm talking about with the first victim. She's the girl who was running towards the camera in the fields, and I think this is going to be the first one that dies in the movie. Seattle police play a big role in the film because we've got two police officers that we'll introduce you to in this trailer. And a good scene, I imagine, takes place at the Seattle police station. You see the drums behind the Heart Eyes killer. He's probably nowhere near where Walter White and Jesse were, but that looks like a similar vibe as to where his lair is, or their lair is. This is just one of the many cool techs that we'll probably see owned by the Heart Eyes killer. So the girl at the beginning of the movie, I assume, is the first victim. This is where she died, and you can see Devon Sawa poking his head through, and we've got Jordana Brewster having a look around as well. So I don't know if they are police officers or one of them is a police officer and one of them is forensics. Both of them are probably police officers. They're in there looking to find out who done it, how it happened, and possibly who died. There's a close-up of Devon Sawa here. Now, we can't rule him out as being a killer in the film. He's got a bit of blood on his top there, so maybe he survived an attack, or maybe it's just blood from one of the blood from the scene, I should say. When I say we shouldn't rule him out as being one of the killers or the killer, we do see a scene where he has an altercation with the killer as well. That's why I'm suggesting there's possibly more than one killer. Now, we've got a scene here of the killer rubbing blood onto or off of this person's lips and then onto their own. But I believe this character is Jordana Brewster's character. You see the chain and the slight blue tinge to the top. I'll show you later on why I think that this character here is Jordana Brewster's character. Now you see the main couple here, and it looks like he's tied up in the back of a police car. I don't know if maybe she's trying to help him out before he gets taken into custody, or the police think that he's one of the killers or a killer or someone that's been taken into custody because they think he's a killer. Here's all those buttons again, but after you see him pressing these buttons and turning the coils, it cuts to the fairground. So it looks like that these buttons control the fairground, and they possibly do, but we shouldn't rule out that these buttons are not for that and they're for something else. We get some cool imagery of this fairground scene when she's trying to get away from the killer. I really love the cinematography throughout this trailer, and this is no exception. This scene here looks like it's still their first date. She's got her bedroom in the background. You can see the clock in the background where he was sitting on the bed. So that's definitely her bedroom that they were in. So it's possibly still their first official date. I don't know why he's happy about getting away from this killer, because the killer's still there. And as you can see, he's there. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this scene plays out at this drive-in theatre. I love horror movies that have drive-in theatres, but what makes it even better is there's a killer on the loose and he's killing people randomly. Now, they're still wearing the same clothes as they did at the beginning of the trailer and the beginning of their date. Of course, this film most likely takes place on the one full day. Maybe it takes place a year prior to begin with, or a couple of days before, in the build-up to the 14th of February. But I'm assuming that the 14th of February is the date that it's going to be set on for the full movie, or at least most of the movie. This is a scene in the police station, in Seattle police station. So obviously, he's been taken into custody because they think he's the killer, and the killer reaches them. So he's obviously after this couple for some reason. Luckily for Mason Gooding, she's behind the glass as she starts shooting. The killer will most likely get away and they'll escape. At the drive-in theatre, I did say that I think there's going to be a few casualties, and we can see a couple here that are obviously casualties of the Heart Eyes killer. It's hard to make out where this scene is set, but you can see blue clothes there. I don't know if that's one of the killers because they're wearing blue overalls or blue coveralls, but it looks like female hair. So I think this could possibly be one of the killers, but I don't know where this scene is set. It doesn't look like the spa, even though it's got the same kind of markings on the walls as the spa did on the floor. So it could be one of the scenes that the Heart Eyes killer or killers leave their markings after they've killed someone or just before they're about to do it. This is Devon Sawa getting slashed by the Heart Eyes killer. Again, we can't rule out anyone being the killer or one of the killers because they could pretend, just like Billy Loomis did, that they're being killed or attacked by the killer. So we've got Jordana Brewster here. You can see she's got that blue shirt on, and you can see a tiny bit below her collar, she's wearing a chain. That's why I think this image here is of Jordana Brewster. So I don't think Jordana Brewster is one of the killers. However, when we go back to that scene with the person with the coveralls, they've got the same hairdo as Jordana Brewster. So either she is the killer being revealed coming out of those the doors, or the person coming out those doors is not the killer, but Jordana Brewster as one of the victims. I think this guy's a peeping Tom, so he probably deserves what he gets, but you can see that knife or machete going right through the camera lens, right into his eyeball. Yuck. We get a few random kills in the trailer because obviously everybody wants to see kills in a horror slasher movie, and this one looks like one of them. Although we don't see these two throughout the trailer, we only see them in this scene, I think they're going to be two main characters or some of the main characters in the movie, so we can't rule either of these people out as being potential killers. This scene is very cool for a trailer, but is also very interesting because when you watch this scene, it's quite clear you can see in the background the main couple yet again. Why is this couple in every scene where someone's getting killed? Why are they always there? Is the killer trying to mock them? It seems to me like the killer's not trying to kill them, but chase them around and maybe eventually kill them. Why are they the focus of this movie. We just don't know yet, because it looks like the Heart Eyes killer is going around killing couples on Valentine's Day or Valentine's night. But why are they two always slipping out of this killer's grasp? Do they want to kill them at all, or do they want to teach them a lesson? The great thing about this trailer is it makes you ask more questions than it does give you answers. Now, although some of it might look spoilerific to certain people, I still think, well, what's happening here? Because we don't know why they're getting chased. We think we know why, because it's Valentine's and the killer's going after couples, but why those two? And why do those two always get away and other couples are just dying so fast? Could it be that one of those two is one of the killers? And then obviously the other killer is behind the mask. There could be scenes where the killer could be one of those two and they're going about attacking Devon Sawa, Jordana Brewster, etc. And then they could switch it around to be one of the other ones being the killer and chasing the main couple, but one of the main couple is the killer. I don't know. It makes us ask a lot of questions, but one thing I think is certain is there's more than one Heart Eyes killer. So did that spoil anything for you guys, or did it make you ask questions? Why is the killer after them? Is there more than one killer? Who knows? As always, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of it. And also let me know what you think about the slasher genre. Is the slasher genre finally back?
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat? Someone's in the back seat!